Holy moly, what a game. And we are about to talk about it all live right now. The Bananas just played in Fenway Park. Cannot believe it.
What an awesome Independence Day weekend. I couldn't think of a better place for them to play than Boston. What an awesome game. And, ESPN covered it. Everyone got to see how awesome Banana Ball really is.
Yeah, and it's really exciting because we're not going to talk about it as much on tonight's the live stream, but the Tailgaters and Party Animals played, and theirs was a really close game as well. We'll touch on a little bit here and there. But as we go through, thank you so much for being here. Just let us know what your favorite moments were. We're going to pull up some parts from the game and talk about some stuff, and I think we'll do that right now, and jump up and share some. I wanted to go straight to the ending of the game because there was a really cool moment by the Firefighters at the end of the game.
Yeah, it seemed like the Firefighters had no life left. The Bananas really controlled the game throughout, but Logan Lacey really wanted to, show off here, and he brought them back, and I thought they could come back, but yeah, let's just watch.
Yeah, so Logan Lacey down 2 strikes. Bombs it, and it is a home run over the Green Monster, the first in Banana Ball history. Logan Lacey making history, and like Sammy said, hoping to start a fire, get a rally there in the bottom of the ninth. Unfortunately, that did not happen, but what an insane moment for Logan being able to have that there in Fenway Park.
Seriously, I didn't have too much to cheer about today. I was rooting for the Firefighters, but that got me on my feet. I was super excited. To hit it over the Green Monster in such a historic park. Really awesome for him. That's a memory he'll never forget, even though the Bananas did end up finishing it off.
Yeah, so really cool to see. And that was one of the things I think we wanted to start off talking with this game was just the historic nature of Fenway Park and the fact that they were able to play there. So a bit of background, they were able to play 1 game last year, and now this year they're doing 2. So there's another game tomorrow night. We'll see if there's any other players that get another home run over the Green Monster. But just so cool to see that. I mean, I grew up watching a lot of baseball as a kid, and then I kind of fell out of it as I grew a little bit older. And so just coming back to this was just a flash of nostalgia with the way that Fenway Park is laid out, the fences, the Green Monster. I love the fans down the line that are just right there. Like, it just throws me back to even just playing MLB video games and just being able to play in Fenway Park. Like, it was so cool to watch.
Yeah, I have a special place in my heart for the Red Sox. I grew up a Mariners fan, but I do love the Red Sox, how historic they are. My favorite sports documentary of all time was the ESPN 30 for 30 that was done about the Red Sox beating the Yankees when they were down 3-0 in the AL Championship Series, the ALCS, and they came back down 3-0 to win 4-3. And then ultimately win the World Series. That's one of my favorite documentaries ever. So I just have a special place in my heart for the Red Sox because of that magical moment. And, seeing the Bananas and the Firefighters play in historic Fenway Park, just an awesome game.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch. And we're about to get into some of your comments. We're seeing a lot of them come in. And thank you so much for that. We'll display some of them on here and kind of talk about some of that stuff. But before we get into that, if you are new to us, we are the Banana Breakdown Podcast. I'm Brandon, and this is Sammy.
Yeah.
He's normally a Party Animals fan, but he's wearing
I got the other hat here. I'll put it on later.
There we go. So he's the life of the party. I like to go a little bit bananas. But we have a weekly podcast where we break down all the games, and we interview some players. We've had some of them on. It's been a lot of fun. And we occasionally do post-game live streams like this. So it's on this channel that we release the podcast. So if you're not subscribed, you can definitely do that. And when we get closer to 1,000 subscribers, we've got a banana ball signed by some of the players, DR Meadows, Dalton Malden, Reese Lexiades, and more. And we're going to do a really fun giveaway with some stuff when we reach that moment. So be sure to subscribe for that. But let's jump into some of that. I think we got a comment right here that we need to address, Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. Yeah, I feel better as a Party Animals fan too.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah, rooting for the Party Animals and the Firefighters, I have felt, the broad range of human emotion this season. Rooting for the Party Animals, always winning, and the Firefighters always losing. It's keeping me humble. Also rooting for the Firefighters.
Yeah, and for those of you who are wondering, we do have representation for the Tailgaters. So I've got the Tailgaters here, and we talk about that. We'll switch hats, which we sometimes do on the podcast. But yeah, it was an incredible game tonight. Seeing all the Fenway Celtics fan, Fenway was actually magical. There was just so many cool stuff. Joel, right here, I want to talk about this. I can't wait till they play in Yankee Stadium. Yes, I am so excited for that. And it's happening later this year. Like, we're going to see it in just a couple months. So going to be really cool to see them play there.
Yeah, those are probably the two most historic stadiums. I mean, the Cubs and Wrigley Field as well. Those are probably the three most historic stadiums. But yeah, just I'm really excited for that too. That's going to be an awesome moment. And really, it's just I really loved how this was on ESPN. This wasn't just on ESPN Plus today. This was on ESPN.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So this was on cable ESPN. And,
that's so cool.
And I was kind of perusing ESPN Plus today. I love sports. I watch all kinds of sports, and it's just like this random hodgepodge of sports that are on ESPN during the summer. I saw you could watch a dog show today. There you could watch pickleball. There was lacrosse. There was all sorts of stuff. But Banana Ball was front and center on ESPN's main channel. Really awesome moment. And they didn't just have the game; they had all the pregame stuff too. The hour of pregame stuff. If someone was just trying to figure out what to watch, they didn't want to watch NBA Summer League. They wanted to watch something more exciting. They found it on ESPN. They watched Banana Ball.
Yeah, and it's really cool with that because you have these games going on that and people are being introduced. And if you noticed in the live stream today, Biko, Josh, Sam Bauman, they did such a good job of introducing new people to the game. They reintroduced rules. When they were doing the pregame show, they were having the players talk about stuff. Jesse Cole talk about his story. Like, they did a lot of things that were done really well and really intentionally to make sure that new people would understand how the game works. And I absolutely love that. And for us, having gone to a game, we were able to notice that most of the pregame show is exactly what happens at those games, which was cool to be able to bring people who haven't been able to go to a game to see what that's like. But I loved the extra interviews that they pulled in that they don't do for normal games. And so we were able to see that. And it was such a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, it really was great. Perfect way to introduce people to Banana Ball that may have just, kind of stumbled into it.
Yeah.
They're starving for sports and, Banana Ball's here.
Yeah. And we're definitely okay. Let's see.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments. Sorry we haven't gotten to anyone yet. This is awesome. Really appreciate all your guys' support and all the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to read through them. But yeah, let's see.
Let's continue on with something we were talking about a second ago of Yankee Stadium. If they don't bring out Jeter for Yankee Stadium, it's a huge missed opportunity. I would absolutely love that. I feel like that's going to be a harder one to get with how famous he is. But if he comes out, I will lose my mind. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We'll see what happens tomorrow with what other Red Sox players they're able to bring in tomorrow. But today, they didn't bring in like the staple. I mean, there were really important players for the Red Sox. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like Jeter level players for the Red Sox.
Not like David Ortiz or Pedro Martinez, which would be so cool.
Yeah, so that would be awesome if they were able to get Jeter. Maybe we'll see if that's a possibility with what they bring out, who they bring out tomorrow. So.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then there were a couple other comments about the visitors, and we can talk about that probably a little bit later in the live stream if we get there because they didn't play this week. But just to quickly answer that. Absolutely love what the visitors are bringing. They did a great job last week. They were able to win a game against the Party Animals.
We don't need to talk about that.
And we'll stop it right there.
Skip over that game.
But the visitors, I've been really impressed. I can't wait to see them play against the Bananas next weekend. Really excited to see that. And then Celtics fan, he's calling you out a little bit.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, that. For Red Sox fans, yes, he is a legend. Obviously, he did not give up a run in that series that I brought up, the ALCS, where they beat the Yankees when they were down 3-0. He did not give up a run in that. He was able to win a World Series, the most important World Series. He had the final out of the World Series in 2004. I understand that he is a legend. I'm just saying that the average person knows who Jeter is. They don't know who Keith Foulke So there we go.
And to be fair with that, like that is my level. I had not heard of him until tonight, but I've heard of David Ortiz, Pedro Martinez, Derek Jeter. And so, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
They've got some good players that they can bring up. And as Banana Ball continues to grow, as it's on ESPN, you get some of these people finding out about Banana Ball. Like Jesse Cole always says, they're in the first inning. They are just getting started. Like people are finding out about the Bananas every single day. And we're getting these hardcore fans just like us that found out just before this season, which is crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into, should we get into the game or?
Let's do it.
Well, yeah. So for those of you that just hopped on, we already talked about kind of how the game ended. Logan Lacey hits the home run over the Green Monster, and it looks like the Firefighters have life. They score a run to be down 3-1, but they didn't end up finishing off. But yeah, let's talk about some of the rest of the game here. Sorry, kind of stumbling on my words here.
No
Still
worries.
Just so excited for how awesome this game was. But yeah, comment what your favorite moments were here. I know some of you had commented earlier. It's kind of lost in the chat, so if you want to shoot it out again, that would be great. But we're going to go over some awesome plays from this game.
Yeah, so one of the plays we saw someone comment earlier in the live stream, I think even before it started, was talking about this play from Jackson Olsen. So wanted to pull this off. So pop it up. Check this out. He's going back, and he barehands it. And the crazy part is that was something that he did last weekend twice. And Carell Prime losing his mind. It was awesome. And so just some really fun moments. Really cool thing for Jackson to be able to pull off and have a really good moment. And so wanted to share that there. And we'll share a couple other cool plays from tonight if you happen to only watch part of the game or watching the tailgaters or party animals. But let's talk about, oh my goodness, yeah, there's so many. Thank you guys for the comments. This is incredible. Joel, I was rooting for a comeback or showdown.
Same.
Us too. Showdowns are the best way to end, and I will always root for a showdown. Obviously, I would have rooted for the Firefighters to get just enough points and then the Bananas to win in showdowns. But I definitely would have wanted a showdown. That's the best way to end.
Showdowns are the best overtime in sports, and for it to be on ESPN
yeah.
for that, I really wanted a showdown to highlight that and showcase how amazing that overtime is. So a little disappointed about that, but it was great no matter what.
Yeah, and so I'm going to pull up one right here. We've got a comment here that talked about Reese Alexiades. So Freya, thanks for joining. Reese Alexiades' final catch was incredible. So I've got that up here. Let me pull it up and show you guys what happened. So 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, going back, and sliding catch from Reese. He is pumped. He's so happy right there. This was so cool to see. And for us, we were able to interview Reese a couple weeks ago. And so we just have a special connection with him, and being able to see him pull off these moments is super cool to watch, knowing more about his backstory. So if you haven't seen that interview, you're definitely going to want to check that out so you can learn a little bit more about him. It was a really fun time.
Yeah, and that celebration there at the end, I don't know anything about anime or whatever, but I've been seeing his Instagram posts. He's a big One Piece fan, and I guess that is some sort of celebration from that. So that was a very intentional celebration. I don't know what that's about at all. I don't know anything about that stuff, but he's a big anime fan. He loves One Piece, and so he was intentionally doing a bunch of celebrations for that. So that's where that comes from, if you were wondering. It's a pretty epic celebration. No matter what. It's
pretty funny to see what he does. I'm just trying to pull up one more. Okay, here we go. We got this one. So we got another comment here from Becca. KJ's trick play with the CPR was so funny. I think this is the one you're talking about. So let me share my screen here. I'm going to go.
If not, we're going to find out what it is.
Exactly. We'll see some banana football play right here. So Joe Lytle's at the plate, and you can see right when he makes contact here, he is so disappointed with himself. But it goes up.
Yeah, here it is.
Over to Ryan Cox. Bounces it up. Bounces it again. Over to KJ. KJ falls to the ground. And then Noah Nisnik comes and revives him. So we almost lost KJ there. But trick play. KJ's alive. We're good to go.
Yeah, glad we didn't lose him. That would have been heartbreaking for so many people.
So it's so much fun to share these plays. So we'll try to get a couple other ones as we go. But let's see. So we talked about this a little bit. ESPN did the pregame show. So cool to see that they did that. And any casual fan or new person coming to it was able to see that, which was really cool to see. So
and when you go if you went on the ESPN app, some people may have just wandered on looking for it on cable or whatever. But if they, is our connection not working?
I think we're probably good.
Okay, it just.
Yeah, if you're like if it's frozen or anything and you can hear us at all, like
I had some Wi-Fi problems earlier today, so really hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, sorry. But on the ESPN app, Banana Ball, was front and center, and it didn't just say like Banana Ball or whatever. It had the two teams. It was Bananas versus Firefighters. Just in the same kind of graphic that you see any games. So really awesome.
And then I've seen a couple comments in here. I didn't catch the full story. It's lost in the chat at this point. But Cole Adams Music says our new friend from Japan is now an official fan. I was seeing some in there. It sounds like there was someone on the live chat for the game from Japan, and they were saying it's their first game, and they ended up, I think they said, donated to Bananas Foster, some really cool stuff.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I didn't catch that. I was chatting in the live chat, but I must have missed that entire thing. So that's awesome. We love to see new fans. We love to see people contribute to the community. Really cool stuff there.
So let's go into what we know from the rest of the game. So we've had a couple comments about it, and I wanted to talk about it. The All-American Rejects. That
awesome.
Was one of the coolest things that happened today at Fenway Park. So they came in from the stands, and they started singing as they're coming down. They had all of their band stuff on the side, literally in foul territory, in play, where a ball could have hit it. That was crazy.
I thought that was the best live performance that we've seen so far this year. There had been some, I know that there had been some technical difficulties in other ones, but this one really came through well. The walk up was awesome, and then this entire moment here. Where Ziggy's walking up and they're gonna perform here, and I thought that they're just gonna perform another song for a walk up, and he is going to bat, and then it's gonna be done, whatever. They just kept playing, and it was so cool. You're just listening to the All-American Rejects perform while the game is going on. Like that does not happen anywhere. This really is the greatest show in sports. And the All-American Rejects are an awesome band, and they played some bangers. So good point. Yeah, we should talk about some of the stuff they've been doing.
So before we get into that, full disclosure, I did not know who the All-American Rejects were outside of what Jesse Cole said, which we'll talk about. But then once they started playing their songs, it's like, okay, I've heard these guys. So we're just gonna keep it playing right here in the background when we talk. Like they're just jamming while Ziggy goes up to the plate, and it goes on for a couple batters. It was so awesome to see. I wish there was like a foul ball and one of them just like snagged it barehand and then kept playing. That would be awesome.
So did you already throw Celtics fans calling up
there?
So All-American Rejects are so fans first. So we should talk about that because what they've been doing recently has been crazy. So All-American Rejects are a band that has been famous for years. Like in the early 2000s, they were huge in the alt rock scene, and those songs that they played, those are hits that you have heard. They still play on the radio. You all know those songs. But lately, they released a single, or they're going to release a single here pretty soon. I think they're going to come out with a new album. And recently, to promote all of that, they have been doing things that I've never heard of a big band doing before. It's kind of like they're going back in time as if they were just a up-and-coming band having to play anywhere. And so they played a house party recently. Like they oh man, you're cutting in and out. Hopefully that's better now. Sam, let us know if we're still cutting in and out.
If we're cutting in and out, please let us know so we can try to fix something if that's still happening. Thank you.
but yeah, All American Rejects. They did a house party. They played at like some college bars, stuff like that. Just really cool, like intimate settings where like people could really get to know them.
Yeah, and then right here, this is perfect. Cole, they're cutting the high-cost tickets and making it all about the fans.
Yeah.
So they're basically just like doing these little pop-ups. They just show up in a town in whatever location they are, and they just play. You don't have to pay any tickets. It's just come here, have a good fan experience. And Jesse Cole made a video about this and talking about them, and he had mentioned that he had reached out to them and talked to them about how cool that was and how they wanted to model some of that. And I think that led to them coming and playing here. But just so cool where Jesse was talking about the fact of, hey, let's take the Bananas on the road sometime and let's go show up at some little league ballpark and just get the kids in the neighborhood, anybody that comes that's in the area, and just play a pickup game. No like live stream cameras, just taking it back to the roots and just having those fun moments with the fans where, hey, if I'm in Arizona and it's happening in Massachusetts, I don't get to participate. But those people in that city in Massachusetts get this insane moment where, okay, can you imagine like one of your favorite sports like players, like just showing up and playing basketball, like going to play pickup basketball and Michael Jordan shows up and just plays with you. Like
that would be crazy. Just
the craziest thing where they're going to have these moments and they're going to be even bigger fans for life. And so really cool to see what we got here.
Yeah, for sure. Really cool stuff. We're going to talk about this interview. We're planning on talking about this interview in the podcast coming up this week. It's going to come out on Wednesday, but I just want to bring it up here. But Jesse Cole posted on YouTube his full interview with the Athletic reporter. The Athletic had a reporter come in and interview him to write an article, and they recorded the entire thing, and so you get to have this interaction between Jesse Cole and this reporter. And Jesse just kept on mentioning how, we do this for the fans. It's not about the money. The Athletic reporter obviously was new to Banana Ball, and he didn't understand how everything was set up. He didn't know who the owners were, blah, blah, blah. And he just kept on asking monetary questions. And Jesse just kept on talking about how, we're not here to make an X amount of money. We're here to get 1 billion fans. That's the goal.
Which is a crazy goal.
And so the fans are what matters. And he was saying, we don't have any investors. We're the owners, because what do investors do? They want to extract value from fans. They want to get a return. We want to give value to fans instead of extracting value. And so, and then another thing he was saying, like, we're going to try to take this to North Dakota. Like, that doesn't make any monetary sense. But if you go to North Dakota and you have fans in North Dakota, that goes a long way. And so that's kind of what, that's the fans' first idea behind, what Banana Ball is doing, what All American Rejects are doing. They are going to the fans. They want to have that for them, and instead of just, all about the money, which sadly that's what sports has turned into.
Yeah, and so it's really cool, but like Jesse says, he's like, by not focusing on the money actually comes, which is healthy for the growth of Banana Ball, is by going to, in the future, if they do actually do that and go to North Dakota where there's not an MLB team, there's not a lot of baseball stuff going on there, you then introduce new fans, and those fans then buy the merch, and then they talk to their friends on social media, and it grows the brand, and those people, so it grows it, but the problem is that is the long-term thinking, which Jesse Cole has of, hey, let's grow this in an impact focus, which is really cool, versus like, hey, how do I make the most money in this moment, which some of the time like MLB and other things are doing. And so it's helping them in the moment, but then long-term, it's not as helpful for the fans. And so we are so excited with what Jesse's doing, and with what Sammy said, that interview was so cool to watch. We'll talk about it more on the podcast, but Jesse and his wife own 100% of this whole thing. There's no one behind the scenes trying to pull the strings, trying to do stuff. Like, they're doing whatever's best for the fans. And I did want to
sorry, I know you're about to say something. This was a good comment here.
Yeah.
Banana Ball fans seem to be like an incredibly supportive and enthusiastic community, which is understandable, amazing, fairly new to Banana Ball, but everything about it is the best thing ever. Yeah, so that's totally true. We love this sport, and what Jesse has created, it comes from the top down because he is so focused on the fans. I feel like that is the reason why the community is the way that it is.
Yeah.
And as it continues to grow, hopefully that stays the same. And it's been awesome. It's been amazing for us, to be interacting with you guys. We all love the sport, and it's just been so supportive and awesome. We really appreciate all of your guys' support as well. So, what were you saying, Brandon?
I don't even remember it. This
well, I guess we'll never know.
We'll probably talk about it on the podcast when we talk about that interview. This one's crazy. So Becca, I got to work with the Bananas when they played in Tampa, and I love how the players came up to see us in the 300 section working merch. Such an amazing experience.
That is so cool.
That is awesome. I'm so glad that you had that experience. And for those who haven't heard about it, so basically the Savannah Bananas have their core group of 100 to 200 people that come to all the games, and then they have things like the merch stands. A lot of them are staffed by local fans. So they basically have, hey, come work with us in this city. They have a list you can sign up for, and then they pay you to work there for the 1 or 2 games, and then they move on and go, which is really cool because you can't bring 1,000 people. That would be a little bit tough for them to do. And then also, Becca, you had an amazing experience. That's awesome, and it continues to grow the fans, and that's a really cool thing. So thanks for sharing.
Seriously, having had experience working in the sports world as a I was never an athlete. I'm just saying, working in a type of job like that. That is so cool that you've had that experience, because sadly outside of banana ball, I've had kind of the opposite experience where athletes, they don't want to talk to you. They don't care about that. They leave places a mess, stuff like that. And so to hear that you had the opposite experience with the banana ball players, that's just awesome. These guys really care, and they understand how much work goes into all of this stuff, and they really, really appreciate it all. So,
that's really cool to see. So we got really quick. We had the chat's moving too fast. I can't grab the right one. Morna, thank you for joining. You might already be gone, but we appreciate you supporting us this time. Get some food and have fun. And then we've got a couple more that came through. Really quick one. Unfortunately, this year we will not be going. We looked at it, tried to see if we could make it work, but it won't be going this time, but maybe in a future one.
To be completely honest, I'm a little scared of cruises. I bring up cruises all the time to my wife, and my wife's like, you hate airports and you hate being on airplanes and being around so many people. Why would you like a cruise? She has a really good point. And I don't know if I could do a cruise, but maybe one day. It seems like a lot of people in a small space, but they also look really, really fun. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see if we can convince Sammy one day to get there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joel, I want Banana Breakdown merch.
Oh boy.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. Right now, we don't have any. That is a huge support for us, and I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, we need to get on that. Seriously.
But that we really appreciate that. We'll let you know when that happens. Wait, what? Going to school with Dan Oberst in elementary, high school, and see him now.
So cool.
Becca, that is amazing. That's crazy. Just like the kid that sits next to you in math class is then some crazy banana ball guy. That's awesome.
Yeah, a kid I went to high school with is in a boy band now, so that's kind of crazy too. But no, that is super cool to watch him. He seems like a great guy. I love his. He's the designated hitter. I love him. Doing this all the time. I love Dan Oberst. He's awesome.
We got another one that we're freezing in, so I'm going to close out the sharing our screen with some of the other YouTube videos and see if that helps a little bit to take down the pressure on there and get us a little bit better. So please keep letting us know if that is going on so we can try to fix it.
Yeah, I'm also going to just check something real quick. Check my Wi-Fi box.
Sam is going to go check the Wi-Fi box. So you've got solo Brandon right now while we do this. Joel, and supporting you guys here in AZ. Yes, that's awesome. We've seen that on Twitter. You've let us know that. I think you're in the K Club. That's so cool, and we really appreciate your support. So excited for that. And just so you know, I did try to push for the Diamondback Stadium for next year. So the Banana Ball had a Instagram post where they asked where we wanted to play, and I put the Diamondback Stadium, and it got a lot of likes. So hopefully it's there at the top, and it's the top of mind. We can get a game in D-Back Stadium. That would be awesome. Celtics fan, supporter from Boston. And where is Sammy? Oh no, he's missing. He's looking at the Wi-Fi. We've had a couple people saying that the Wi-Fi's been, or the video's been cutting in and out. So Sammy checked it. What's our status report on the internet connection?
It seems like it's working.
So it could have just been overloaded because we were trying to share the screen and do a live stream. So we think we've got it figured out. So let us know.
Wi-Fi's on my phone is working.
I think we should be good. So keep us posted if you guys see anything else. But let's go in and also talk about the cameos from today. So I wanted to call out the people that showed up. So my favorite one, first off, was Brock Holt. So he comes up to bat, and he was doing a phenomenal job. So they said it was something like the 2018 World Series champion. He comes up to bat, gets 2 strikes on him, and he is just batting away everything. Foul ball after foul ball. And it was just really cool to see him keeping it going, staying in the box. And then he hits one, and the fans catch it. And this is my favorite part of the night. You just hear this super loud boo. Everyone was so mad at that fan for catching it. It was such a great moment.
Yeah, and I don't remember if it was Biko or Josh, but they one of them said, maybe he's a Yankees fan. That caught it.
I heard that.
But the interview with him afterwards was hilarious.
It was awesome.
Because he was saying it went perfectly because he got his at bat, but he was worried he was going to pull a hamstring if he hit into play and had to run to first, and so it's like perfect. He didn't have to run at all because it was a foul ball. That was hilarious.
I was dying, and it's one of those things where this fan actively looked like super pumped at almost like, I'm so glad I got this guy out.
Yeah.
I don't like what you've done. But I mean, I understand the whole, I'm so excited because I caught a ball in a game. But it was he was like, I did it. I got you out. I don't know what this guy did. If he lost him at other World Series or something. And so he's has a vendetta. I don't know. That was really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know all of the history there. Maybe Celtics fan can help us understand what all of that is. He's a diehard Red Sox fan. That was, just sorry, I lost my train of thought. Still thinking about that Wi-Fi box. A little worried. I think we're okay. I think it was just the YouTube stuff.
I think to transition really quick, Sammy, I think that the fans might want you to switch to your Party Animals hat.
Oh yeah,
Eli, Firefighters aren't doing too hot right now. Yeah, they're 2-10 this season. Overall, they've had some great trick plays. They had some great moments. From a winning games and losing games, they have not had as hot of a season right now. So Sammy's going back to Party Animals. And on that note, I'm going to switch over to the Texas Tailgaters.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because this is my favorite hat, one of my favorite hats I've ever owned. This is such a cool logo. The Firefighters are not doing so well.
So let's briefly jump into the Party Animals Tailgaters game, and then we will jump right back to the other cameos. So we only watched the end of it, and we were a little bit in and out as we were mainly focused on the Fenway Park game. But there were a lot of runs that were scored. There were a couple times when I was checking in, it was the Tailgaters scored 2 or 3 runs, and then the Party Animals scored 3 or 4 in the inning and took them out. And it was a close game all the way through. It ended up being 2-3 going into the 9th inning. And then, Drew Gillespie comes up to the pitcher's mound. And you know what that means for the Tailgaters.
The door was never open. Drew Gillespie, he's amazing. Best pitcher in Banana Ball. Brett Carson had a great game ending as well. He has an argument to be one of the best pitchers in Banana Ball. We're not just saying that because we just released an interview with Brett Carson. Want to shout out that if you have not watched it, it is awesome. Brett really went into his entire life story almost, his entire baseball story. It was an awesome experience talking to him. He's an amazing guy, and he's a really good storyteller too. So the podcast is really awesome, really fun to listen to. So if you go on to this channel, subscribe to this channel, go watch it. We released it actually yesterday, so you'll want to check that out if you haven't yet. But anyway, Drew Gillespie, best pitcher in Banana Ball. He's able to close the door on the Tailgaters, who really were playing well, and the Tailgaters and the Party Animals. The Tailgaters have not won too many games this season. They're 3-7, but it really feels like the Tailgaters and Party Animals, whenever they play, it's just an awesome game. And so they always give the Party Animals trouble. But the Party Animals, because they are the best team in the entire world, were able to win it.
Yes.
I think the Party Animals could beat the Colorado Rockies. I'm dead serious right now.
That would be awesome. Yes, for context, for those who are not MLB fans, Colorado Rockies are having a horrible season this year, and so
historically bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So jumping back to the Red Sox conversation with Brock Holt getting the foul out. Celtics fan, I yelled, "Give him another chance" in the chat, and if I was that fan, I would not have got it. Yeah. I think that was most of the fans' reaction because they were just like, "Hey, boo! Like, what are you doing?"
Joel, gosh.
Shots fired. The three of us could beat the Rockies.
Yeah, maybe.
That is awesome. Also, Becca, whatever it was, you fixed it. Okay, so I think we're doing good. Sammy running off screen helped out somehow.
Yeah,
so
I just kind of stared at the Wi-Fi box. I pulled out the bean bag we have over there. I just kind of looked at it, and I guess I scared it into behaving. So there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Celtics fan, Party Animals will dethrone the Rockies. We'll see it. Cole, LOL, yes. So we'll see. I don't think they would ever agree to that, but that would be hilarious to see. And Becca, you were bringing up a very sad part of the podcast. Only 20 games left for the season, and we're going to have to figure out what we're doing in the off season. But at least a bit of a look forward at that is we're not going to stop in the off season. So our plan is, at least for now, when the games end, we're going to transition the weekly breakdown into hopefully a weekly interview with one of the players, coaches, whatever. And then maybe we're jumping in every couple weeks to kind of talk about anything that's happened in the off season. So we will keep you guys posted on everything Banana Ball in the off season. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it's going to be sad when the games stop coming.
Yeah, we're going to have way more interviews in the off season. We have quite a few lined up for the future, so you're going to want to subscribe so you don't miss any of those. But we've had some that have just kind of fallen through because these guys are so busy. And so once the off season comes around, it's going to be a lot easier for us to interview and get all of that. So it's going to be awesome. Keep watching, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've been having too much fun. We really have. This has been super fun. Yeah, it's awesome.
I gotta call out this one right here though with Eli. I heard the Firefighters can beat the Rockies.
Okay, no offense to the Firefighters, but I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, that is awesome. Can you imagine if they're like they get an extra win here and it's against the Rockies?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
But he did say we need Banana Ball All-Stars versus Rockies in the offseason. Yeah, the Rock for relegation. So if the Rockies lose, not that Banana Ball is. That's not what I meant. Banana Ball's not inferior, but yeah, the Rockies lose. They have to play an entire season in the Banana Ball League, and they have no idea what they're doing.
They're going to get out every time because they're stepping out of the box. Yeah. They're going to try to bunt and get ejected from the game. That would be awesome. Yeah, that sounds like it's awesome. Thank you guys. We are having a ton of fun right now. I wish we could share every comment, but this is a really fun time. And Joel summed it up. Love this Banana Ball fan. Same here. Seriously. It's been a lot of fun. Going on with this conversation that's been talked about a little bit with the visitors, rooting that all 23 of the visitors will make a team this year. I don't want to say goodbye. Yes. Yeah. So admittedly, this is our first season of watching Banana Ball. So we did not fully experience firsthand what happened last time, but I did hear from someone in one of our comments that some of the visitors that played last year joined the teams after their games were over. So KJ Jackson, Corel Prime, they were then on the Bananas last year and played a few games there. So we could see some of that with the visitors. And that is super exciting to me because we've seen some really cool plays from the visitors, especially playing against the top team in Banana Ball. And actually, Sammy, plug yours if you don't want to hear it. The visitors beat the Party Animals.
That was awful. But
The visitors beat the party animals.
Yeah. Seriously, yeah, it's
Thanks, Joel.
whatever. It was rigged. I go back and listen to my take on that, the podcast that we released on Wednesday. Why in the world did anyone answer this question for me? Maybe some people in the chat have an opinion about this. I know we're going back to last week. And I seriously, please explain this to me because I might be missing something. Because, to be honest, I didn't watch the game live. I was on an anniversary trip. Shout out to my wife. She's in the chat. I love you. 5 years. Life is amazing with you. Anyway, I didn't watch it live, but I watched it afterwards. And the 9th inning, why in the world did the party animals not use the golden batter? I'm so mad about it still. They were only down 1. They could have just easily put in Jake Skoll, and Reese Hampton did end up batting later, but he was not in the first 3 of that lineup there. He ends up batting last and getting out. Oh my gosh. So I was just really, really frustrated with that. I know this was last week. People have already moved on. Is that your visitor's
This is my visitor's hat. I'm showing my support for the
I
visitors.
didn't know you brought that one too. It's not actually a visitor's hat.
It's
just
literally
gray.
a Pixar hat,
Yeah,
but it's the
it's
only
just
gray
gray.
one, so we call it that. So Becca says visitors deserve that win. They worked so hard. They won fair and square.
Yes, they did. I don't actually think that it was rigged. I just think it was poor coaching, No offense to anyone involved. If anyone's watching this, I don't think they are, but anyway, I don't want to keep
Side tangents with Sammy is the best part of these live streams.
Live streams, I get a little crazy there. So,
So this one, so Fisher Polydorov, I think is how you say it. He is so funny to watch on all the social media stuff, and he is basically like a time traveler. He wears old time baseball stuff, has an old time glove, does hilarious stuff, and I think that it would be really cool to see him continue in Banana Ball. I would be shocked if he doesn't with how much stuff he's been doing. And then the catcher, I think it was Ashby Vining, I think. He was showman of the night. He did a great job. I would be shocked if he doesn't continue as well. Becca, thank you.
whatever.
I smell jealousy.
Yes, I am. I always want the party animals to win.
There you
Yes,
go.
I know. But yes, the visitors did win fair and square. I will admit it. I will. But yes, party animals were missing some guys. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. I missed that part where Fisher was mic'd up. I need to listen to that because I've watched some of his social media stuff.
Yes,
And he is
was.
awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's only 19. He was saying on an interview that he's the youngest player in Banana Ball, and he's also pretending to be the oldest by being like a time traveler from
19-year-olds looked a lot different back then, I guess. Rough and tumble era. Anyway, yeah, he's awesome. I've been seeing some of his Instagram stuff where he's going back in time, like different eras of baseball, different players, and if you just go back in time and you read like a list of a roster of a sports team in the early 1900s, those guys had wild names. Like we just don't name people, or more precisely, we don't nickname people the way that we used to. Those guys had some wild nicknames. I don't know any off the top of my head. I'm just kind of talking right now. I don't know where this sentence is going, but anyway.
Yeah, so this is becoming the Fisher Polydorov show. So we're gonna need to get this guy on the podcast and get a proper introduction.
Yeah.
But yeah, he talks like an old radio show guy. It's hilarious. The guy's super talented. He knows something like 3 languages and then like 10 instruments or something, like crazy talented. So I think he's definitely gonna be there. And this is where I want to go with this chat. You're talking about, do all of them have to go? And I think this is right on.
Yeah.
I think that some of them could make it onto the teams this year. You could see them joining the lineups right now for the rest of 2025. But the fact that there's 2 new teams is going to really help a lot of these guys. If they can pull off a good performance and show that they can be good both on the baseball side and on the entertainment side, I think they have a really good shot at making one of those teams next year, because that's an additional 50 players they've got to find. And so they're going to get them from other stuff. They're doing a ton of tryouts, but I think a lot of them could make it, which would be really cool.
Yeah, I really hope that they do. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for those 2 new teams. We're going to find out October 9th, right?
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I kind of feel like I'm more excited for that than the actual tour championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did have a question there. It was lost in the chat a while back, was like, are you guys going to do anything for the World Tour draft? And the answer is yes. We're already planning and want to make a lot of stuff around that and kind of bring you guys into everything there and kind of dissect it a little bit more.
Martin's here.
So we'll see where all that goes. But
hey, hope you had a good supper. Good to see you, Martin. Thanks for joining.
But yeah, we'll see where that goes. But we're so excited for the World Tour Championship. I can't wait to see the new teams. I can't wait to see where they announce it. Really holding out hope that the Arizona Diamondbacks Stadium, we get a game there here at Chase Field. I want to go to Banana Ball in the field that I've grown up going to. It would be so cool to watch.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I didn't grow up in Arizona. Like I said, I grew up a Mariners fan. And they are playing in it should be called Safeco Field. I don't know what in the world it's called right now. I don't want to go on that rant again. I already went on that rant in a podcast about how I hate all the sponsors changing names, stuff like that.
So I have a question though, before we go off that tangent. If a sponsor can buy the name of the field, could we have like someone in Banana Ball buy a field and have it be like the Banana Ball field for like Yankee Stadium, or like Fans First Entertainment?
That's like close to $1 billion at this point. Like I don't know, maybe it's not quite $1 billion, but that much money.
We get the banana breakdown ballpark or something.
We will never ever be able to afford that. Yeah. So I understand that sponsors change. I just don't. Some of these sponsors' names are just dumb. The one that makes me the most mad is, I know we're not talking about, we're losing people because I'm going on these tangents.
Side tangents with Sammy is why they are here.
Crypto.com Arena is so lame. I hate that name so much. Should be Staples Center, and I know Staples was a sponsor as well. And Staples, I don't know how Staples is still in business, to be quite honest. Anyway, yes, I agree, Martin. Not a fan. Yeah. I don't. Sponsors should just get out of it. Like that. This goes back to what we're talking about with Jesse and how he's fans first and everything.
Yeah.
The fact that you can just buy naming rights for a stadium,
it's crazy.
Seriously, like that is not fans first at all. Like it should be named after like a historic coach or player, whatever, like, or something with the community. I don't know, like a location, just not sponsors. And that's the example of, owners of these teams trying to extract value from fans as much as possible, where fans are the commodity, right? Like fans going to the stadium, seeing the name of the stadium, seeing that it is Crypto.com Arena, like, oh, I need to go on Crypto.com now. Like that is, they're extracting value from fans instead of giving value to fans, like Jesse Cole talks about. And so Grayson Stadium will, I think it's safe to say, I could be wrong here, I don't know the future, but with how Jesse Cole operates, I don't think we're ever going to see Bud Light Stadium here at Bud Light Field at Grayson Stadium, something like that. It's sponsored. Anyway, I'll stop talking about it. No one wants to hear my opinion about this stuff. We can move on.
Freya, yes, it is confusing, and then it makes it hard for people who have grown up with a certain name, and then it changes. And it's like, hey, we'll go to the stadium, and they don't know what it is. But we got another comment in here, and let's see what Becca says. Could you see the Bananas playing in more NFL or college stadiums this year? Similar one in 2026? Yes, 100%. So what we saw, just breaking it down from what we saw last year, is we saw a bunch of MLB ballparks. We saw 3 of them. They played 1 game a night. This year, it was something like 18 stadiums, and they're playing at least 2 games a night in every one of them. Then this year with the football stadiums, they played one game a night for the first few, and then they played two with the last one. And so they are just doing it little by little and increasing. But the jump from 3 to 18 on multiple nights, so that's actually like closer to 40, like 3 to like 40 games is huge. So I think it's going to explode this year, especially because hearing some of Jesse's interviews, when they had that Clemson game and when they played in some of those NFL stadiums, they got so many phone calls from other football stadiums like, we need you here. We want you guys here. What do we have to do to get you guys here? And there's actually been quite a few news organizations that I've looked at, and they are saying how much of a boost it is to the local economy when the Bananas come. They were saying something like in Washington, D.C., when they just played there, it was like 25% of the people that came to the game were out of the state. And flew into there, and they're buying hotels. They're buying all the food. They're doing all these things that are great for the local economy. And so these cities are saying, Banana Ball, come here. We want to host you guys, and it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, I love how they're not like they're going to be doing these big ballparks and everything, but they're not only going to do MLB ballparks. I don't think the party animals and the tailgaters were playing in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Drake's comment on our post was hilarious when he said, I don't know what Fenway Park is. We're going to tropical Lehigh Valley. Anyway, it was really funny. But no one knows who the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs are, the minor league baseball park, the minor league baseball park there. And so they're still going to go to those small parks, which is really awesome. Looks like the Wi-Fi's struggling.
Okay. But yeah, I totally agree with you if you guys can hear us. They want to have the smaller games as well, because Jesse's talked about that. As much as he wants to go to the football stadiums that have 70, 80, 90,000 people, they want the more intimate games. They want to have the Grayson Stadium games with 5,000 fans where you can have a more intimate experience. There's a much bigger chance that you're meeting the players, all of those things. So I think that we're going to get a balance of both, as well as, to your point, the party animals are now a bigger team, but they're way smaller than the Bananas in terms of brand recognition. Then the tailgaters and the firefighters, they're probably going to do a couple more years of mostly smaller stadiums where they're the home team, and they're growing from there. But I also could see them, I'm so excited for the Savannah Bananas to be the away team, because you get an MLB ballpark where the Savannah Bananas are the away team against the Texas Tailgaters, and it's now there's a ton of people rooting for the Tailgaters, and it's going to be really cool to see how that goes. Okay, Becca, thank you. Appreciate that. Joel, and now everyone wants us. Yes, they are trying to get the Bananas at all costs. It's pretty funny to see. But it looks like Cole had to head out. I know it's a late on for people on the East Coast, but we appreciate you guys being here. And then Martin, they'll be in more MLB parks, and I bet they will get into all of them. I think so too. I think that it's just a missed opportunity for any MLB team to say no right now, especially because of just the boost in revenue that it gets for their stadium. And then all these banana moments are happening in these stadiums. So then people like us are talking about the stadiums, and it grows their side as well.
Yeah, I love how they tie in the local fan base to it too, because it's not like they're taking away fans. When the Boston Red Sox legends step out onto the field there, those kids that are there to watch the Bananas, they're going to turn to their dads and they're going to say, who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that? Tell me the story of when the Red Sox won the World Series, and then those kids are Banana Ball fans, but when their parents tell them about the Red Sox winning the World Series, they're going to be, oh, wow, I'm also a Red Sox fan because my mom and dad are Red Sox fans, and it makes good for families, and it's a good idea for the teams to bring them in, because this isn't just the Bananas playing, it's also a celebration of the local team.
Yeah, no, it's super cool to see, and that's been fun. And that's one of the things for me is it's if they come to the Diamondback Stadium, for me, if they get anyone from the 2001 World Series team, I will lose my mind. That would be awesome. Just being able to see that, it's going to be so cool. And I can only imagine what that's like for the people there at the Red Sox Stadium and stuff today.
Must be nice to be a fan of a team that's won a World Series.
I mean, for the record, they won the World Series and I was 3. I've just watched the recordings.
Yeah, but you have something. The Mariners have never even been to a World Series.
Ouch. No wonder you're a fan of banana ball.
Yeah, exactly. I've moved on.
Notice how Sammy now has the good luck and he's with the top team in banana ball.
Finally, I deserve it. Hey, Kyle Raleigh is really killing it right now with home runs. He's Mariners player. He hasn't been watching. He hasn't been keeping up with them.
But I mean, even like the Mariners, like you get like, oh my gosh, I would lose my mind if they got Ichiro Suzuki. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got Rays can't sell out games, but Bananas would sell out the stadium easily once they rebuild it. Yeah, I know there's some MLB teams that are struggling to fill their stadiums, and the Bananas are selling out every game, and they have for years, which is really cool to see. Eli, I would bet the Bananas can figure out how to play games inside an NBA arena. That would be crazy to watch. I feel like that'd be a little bit hard to clean up all the dirt in the basketball court.
Yeah, you have to play some sort of
in the sphere.
The sphere, yeah. I like the ideas. People were mentioning Wembley Field. Let's see. I know, but someone mentioned it first. Here.
What is Wembley?
That's in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a historic football, soccer.
Football.
Well, it's just football.
That's true.
England. Yeah, it's in England. Yeah, Wembley would be awesome. That's one of the most historic soccer stadiums ever. I mean, I think it's in London, right? Somewhere in England. It's the only town in England I know. London. Just kidding. I actually know some things just because my dad, for whatever reason, I don't know if my dad's watching this, maybe he is, but my dad, for whatever reason, became a huge English Premier League fan. Like, I grew up watching football and stuff with him, and then ever since I moved out, like, all he watches is soccer.
That's so funny.
I don't know what changed, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I've been looking. So when we were like looking at some of the football stadiums, I was looking at the biggest stadiums in the world, and some of those soccer stadiums are so cool. Like just seeing like a fully like circular stadium where every seat in the house is like as close as it can be. Like it would be really cool to see some games in there, and just imagine like the fan caught foul balls in a stadium like that, where like you have these huge stadiums where the ball can't get out of the ballpark. Like it's going to be in there and give a chance every time.
Yeah. Okay, good. London. Yeah, I was right.
Hey, there you go. Hey, I had no idea what it was. So, and then Martin, get Banana Ball to Australia. That would be awesome. We've talked about that on a couple podcasts because we typically do a fact of the week, and one of them, I think was it Noah Fisher that said he wants to like fight a kangaroo or something?
I think so.
I think we need to have him do a walk-up like riding a kangaroo or something, which is pretty funny. But with that, I did find a fact of the week tonight that I wanted to bring up. So they're playing live on ESPN, and Eric Jones Jr. comes up to the plate, and his fact says the E in ESPN stands for, and then right underneath it was his name. And the E in ESPN stands for Eric Jones Jr. I was like, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we got another hilarious one here. Eli, imagine the Firefighters come back and win the 2025 Tour Championship. The crazy thing is that they could. They totally could do it.
If the championship game is against the Party Animals and the Firefighters, I'm just going to look like this. Every time, every time the other bats, I'll just go like this.
You have like a firefighter
or like
shirt
this.
and a Party Animals jacket. And then, then you just like pull it down.
Like that.
Yeah, there you go. But so on that note, I will say, they are working out a lot of things right now. They've talked about some of the struggles they've had with the lineup. They are constantly changing up the lineup. Something interesting I saw today that I noticed was, so South Trimble I've seen him at least in the outfield. I don't know if he plays a lot of different positions. I can't remember.
He was the designated runner.
Exactly.
Oh, okay,
he was the designated runner tonight. So they changed that up where he literally last weekend was making trick plays in the outfield, and now today he's a designated runner. So like I think they're testing out a couple different things and making it work. So it's like Malachi Mitchell was on the Bananas, and he was a normal player. He was hitting and playing defense. Dan Oberst, he was playing defense, and then suddenly he's now the DH. So like I think as they tweak some of these things, they'll find out where people are best. They're good at all the different things, but it's like, hey, let's just have you focus on batting or running, or let's switch you over to pitching. Like the fact that we have so many like pitchers that also play the outfield is super cool in banana ball. So we could totally see that happen. I think it's unlikely. I would bet it's in a future season that they're able to pull it off. But I mean, that would be one of the biggest comeback stories of all time to be able to come back.
For sure. The party animals are going to win it all. I've been saying it for months now.
The who?
Party animals.
Who are they?
What are you? Wait, why didn't you just? We're getting tired. I know it's later over there, but it's anyway.
Yeah, Joel, they're developing the Firefighters to be the next premier team like the Party Animals. That's why they're in all the big stadiums. Also building bench strength and depth. Yeah, so it's just going to take some time. They're going to have to figure it all out. But over time, I think they'll get there, and we'll see what happens.
I love this idea, Russell. Shirt idea, banana ball fan with all 4 team logos. I love that. You know, we got to support them all. Thanks for hopping on the chat, Russell. Yeah, so I want to get to this. Becca, I love this comment. Grown men can't handle seeing banana ball because they hate to see the organization making baseball fun again. Wait till these grown men find out the bananas can sell a cruise out too. Yeah, good stuff. Seriously, I've seen some crazy vitriol towards the bananas from some people, and it's really they hate to see that we're making baseball fun. I mean, I'm not participating in the game, so I'm just talking about it. But banana ball's making it fun, and awesome stuff.
Yeah, because it's definitely interesting to see, and it's one of those things where also, I mean, social media. I think that some people don't care one way or the other, but they just see that someone is negative against the bananas in a very rude way, and it goes mega viral, and so they're like, oh, I'll do that too and try to gain some followers. But there are a ton of people who don't like it, and it's just like, hey, one of the things we'll talk about in the podcast, but I loved Jesse Cole's response in the Athletic interview.
Oh, yeah.
Is he brought up, he's like, we are not against the MLB.
Yeah,
he's
not
like
competing with them.
Yeah, he points right behind him. He's like, do you see the Angels logo? Do you know where we're in an MLB? We are working in partnership with them. Like, there's going to be a day where the banana ball and MLB coexist, and there are people who are MLB fans, and there's people like us who are banana ball fans, and we have both.
A little bit in between.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I'll watch an MLB game sometimes.
And that's the thing, is it's like coming back into banana ball has grown my love for baseball as a whole. And so it's like I would be much more excited to even go to a normal baseball game, or when it's on at a Red Robin or something. Like, I'm much more inclined to watch it now because I'm into the general sport of baseball. So it's really interesting. I think
that's a good
people
point,
need to learn that, like, hey, we're not out to destroy the MLB. That's never gonna happen. And actually, that would be bad for banana ball if it did, because we need these stadiums, and it's nice for us to then be able to travel around. So
for sure.
We got a couple. You see the fans.
Yeah.
Everyone is having fun. Yeah, that was crazy in Anaheim, just like how loud everyone was when we were there. It's so wholesome and fun. How can you not like it? This is a good one. Eli, banana ball is meant to be more fun, alternative version of baseball. It'd get more kids interested, like how kids get into superhero movies through the kids show versions of it. Yes, so that's something that is super huge. Is it's like, for me, one of the things that got me into baseball as a kid, obviously I played Little League and stuff, but it was video games like Backyard Baseball that it's not the most true baseball video game like MLB The Show, but it's just a fun game where they're doing diving catches and crazy things, and it got me to love baseball in a way that other things couldn't. And so banana ball is a version of that. And Jesse's talked about it. I think we're going to have banana ball youth leagues start popping up in the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be a big thing, and it's actually going to get more people into it, because Little League is kind of dying as a thing right now. So
yeah, that's a great point. It really does get people into it, because when we were there, we've been to 2 games this season in Mesa and in Anaheim. When we were there, you see the families together, and that's the most important thing, right?
Yep.
Is bringing these families together and bringing people together and enjoying it all together. And so there's, people want like I love sports. I want my kids to like sports because it's fun to do that together, and so Banana Ball can bring that to people where now, yeah, the kids may only want to watch Banana Ball right now, but by the time they turn, when they're 20 years old, they're going to sit down and they can watch an MLB game because they've learned to love baseball. And I hope that happens, and I hope that they can still love Banana Ball too, and we can all just coexist here, and we don't need to be enemies because both are really great products. And yeah, I poke fun at the MLB a lot, but
it's fun too.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a lot of animosity from the other side, which can be frustrating as a Banana Ball fan. But it's interesting to see where it goes.
I mainly just poke fun at them because I want one of my clips to get aggregated. I want someone to get mad at what I say, and then that goes viral, and then in turn, people learn that we have a podcast about Banana Ball. It's really just a selfish thing. Really.
That's awesome.
No, I actually haven't done that yet.
All
my hottest takes are yet to come. So get ready.
There we go. He'll have to break out the firefighter hat for that one.
Subscribe for Sammy's hottest takes.
We should put that at the top. Hey Bailey, thanks for joining. Joel, the people who diss the Bananas are the same ones that leave in the 7th inning of the MLB.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah. Like, you get to the 7th inning and there's no way another team's going to come back. But that's one of the magical things about Banana Ball is, yeah, the Bananas controlled that game from start to finish today. But
there was a chance.
So the Firefighters were only down 3 runs in the 9th inning, And so in a different game, I don't know exactly how many runs there were. I didn't see the final box score yet. But the Bananas probably had quite a few more. And they would have had even more because, the walk-off rule, all that stuff. So,
yeah, but thank you guys so much for joining the live stream. I think we're about to head in for the night, and we appreciate all that you guys do for us and support us. If you're watching live and you are not subscribed, we have a weekly podcast where we break down all of the games, and we also interview some of the players. We've had some really fun ones. Brett Carson was the one that just released yesterday, and we had so much fun talking to them. So we're here to break all these down. We're going to have more post-game live streams in the future with some of these big stadiums, but we really appreciate your guys' support, and thank you guys so much. We will see you another time. Go Bananas!
Go Party Animals!